The Widow Support Center started its journey actually in 1983. Part of my motto as a person is never look a problem that you point out in the face and walk away. Think some way, limited as it may be, given your own abilities and resources, but make some effort to make a difference. And this is because I think that the essence of our humanity, the reason for being, is to have impact, social impact, to affect the world around you. And I made a number of comments about plight of widows. I tried to find out some more and actually engaged a lady who was working on a PhD thesis on this subject, widowhood rights in eastern Nigeria. I don't know where she is now, but I got to launch the book when she turned her PhD thesis into a book. Mrs. Okoye, Patricia Okoye at the time. And so since then, I have tried to find some ways of engaging on the problem of the plight of widows. And eventually in 1991, after engaging at several different levels, we founded the Widow Support Center. We have our Women of Grace as the center calls its members, and you can see some of them here appropriately attired as a group. I can tell you, I have never been able to figure out this Ashwebi concept. It's a brilliantly Nigerian thing.
For a nation and a culture that values motherhood, and it's quite strange that it's motherhood that we value. You know, I always used to complain when people called me the wife of so-and-so, or the daughter of so-and-so, or the student of so-and-so. I don't know why we can't just value a woman or a girl for being herself, why we always have to attribute her value to either the elder or the male or the younger in her life. We are all women. We're human beings. You know, when I see Professor Pat, I can't say, oh, the husband of so-and-so, or the son of so-and-so. You know, I don't even know what school you went to. I think you went to school with my older brother, King's College, I think. Yes, but, you know, I see you, and I value you. And I don't know why we always want to ascribe anything good in a woman to somebody else other than that woman herself or that girl herself. And so I felt very strongly today when I was listening to you that if we really are to press for progress, we need to look at the challenges that the life of a Nigerian woman, and even our boys and men, face from birth to age, and we need to begin to restore that dignity to our humanity.
Also look at women in the workplace. Even sometimes, I mean, definitely in the past, but even now when I go into meetings, you don't get treated with the same respect as a man. There's a lot of data that shows when a woman walks into a room, the natural assumption is that she's below average. And in order to be considered average, in order to be considered adequate to the job, women actually have to outperform. Whereas in order to be considered average, all a man has to do is walk into the room. So you're starting with that disparity, which we have to recognize. It's nothing against men. I don't think most men don't want that situation, but that's the reality. But because we have to understand the reality in order to address it. So if we know we're walking in with a disadvantage, that people are already going to be expecting us to underperform or be dismissive or not listen, we as women have to be prepared to rise to the challenge.
On women's issues generally, I have a very simple, very unsophisticated approach to it. And my simple approach is that any society that does not get the most out of 50% or more of its population, very obviously denies itself the opportunity to be what it could be. And so I think that issues of gender rights and all of that, for me, remain very simple. I somehow don't have a concept of the favored male child. Unfortunately, my daughter is standing there. I just have never understood it. I have never imagined it possible that any of my male children will get an advantage over the female. Actually, so think of it, my female children have been more expensive to educate. I mean, some of them could have built me several houses just sending them to school. So why society has some problems with this is part of an education process that we need to help each other with if we're going to really be a society that gets the most from its resources.